Coming up next on the Jeff Crilley Show, we're going to teach you how to thrive with Kathy Fielder. Her journey just ahead.
Many are predicting that the worst is yet to come, which is unfortunate, said one person here. Until now, they've enjoyed the reputation of being the nation's icebox.
Watched a burglar in his home this morning by webcam.
As a journalist of over 25 years, stories are what make my world turn.
Reporting live from the Dallas newsroom tonight, Jeff Crilley, Fox 4 News.
But in 2008, I took the jump from my familiar life and started a PR firm from my home.
We're talking about anyone with a camcorder like the one I'm using becomes a television network.
We started slowly growing the company, and we now have over 100 clients, and we've branched into the world of live digital broadcasting. I now own 8 different TV studios and have a huge team. And the stories that I now get to share are sometimes the most important of my life. Life has a funny way of coming around full circle. This is the Jeff Crilley Show.
Well, have you ever met somebody for the first time and you feel like you've known them forever? My next guest is Kathy Fielder. I've heard her name forever and ever here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area because she's all over the TV shows. She's a lifestyle expert. She's a designer. She's just a wonderful person. And now she's on my show. Thank you for coming on the show, Kathy.
So sweet. Thank you for having me.
Well, I want to know, like, when did you know you had a talent in the area of design? Were you that little girl blinging out her Barbies, or when did you know?
I still don't know if I have a talent. Honestly, I just know I can work really hard. And I think that's kind of the difference. Now, you have to refine your talents, right? And you have to figure out what you're good at and surround yourself with people who might be better at what you're not good at. But I think true talent is cultivated. I don't know that I was sat there as a young child, and I grew up very differently than I live now, right? But I do think that you look at, as you learn and grow and evolve, that you figure out what you're good at and you hone in on it. And that's kind of God's gift to us, is if he gave us talents and we want to cultivate them.
So talk about the very beginnings of your entrepreneurial journey. What was your first business related to what you do now?
Well, so I started as an entrepreneur at 22.
Wow.
Yes. I launched, and I danced with a ballet company until I was 23. So I was kind of doing it simultaneously.
Sure.
And I decided I was minoring in design and wanted to go into the design world, and decided I didn't really want to dance anymore. And I ended up meeting with this builder, and he had this huge project where I was going to do a house, like a show home. Blueprint all the way through till the very end. And so I took that project on. It was a 4-year project. And that's kind of how I got into the world of design. And since then, my career's evolved over time. Obviously, I've changed and I've morphed and gone with, the market or whatever's happening. I launched a marketing and design firm recently, but that's like the culmination of years of figuring out all of these different aspects of lifestyle.
Absolutely. And I love the word thrive, because now that's part of your company name. What does thrive mean to you?
Well, so, my marketing director and I debated on this for quite a good while, because we were trying to figure out, what does this mean? I have so much experience in retail placement, like being on air at QVC, relationships with Neiman Marcus, all of these different areas of expertise, marketing, how to do an Instagram feed, which all of it comes together to make a brand so that you can market yourself. And so, at one point I just said, we're talking about thriving in today's marketplace. And so it became Thrive by Kathy Fielder.
It's a perfect name. It's a perfect name. Now, I don't want to embarrass you, Kathy, because I know you would never show this video, but I can, because this is my show. So this is your live Kathy Fielder.
Always stylish and on trend, Kathy Fielder is a lifestyle and design expert, blogger, TV host, entrepreneur, manufacturer, philanthropist, equestrian, mother, and proud Texan. At the age of 22, Kathy started her first design firm, Studio Interiors. Her vision, innovation, creative ideas, persistence, and meticulous work ethic helped propel her as a leader in the competitive design field. Awards and recognitions include Fashion Group International Rising Star, Women That Soar, Entrepreneur of the Year, Greater East Dallas Chamber of Commerce R.S. Munger Business Pioneer Award, and she serves on the board of Fashion Group International. Kathy launched KF Design, Life, Style by Kathy Fielder Boutique, which encompasses a wide variety of home, fashion, and lifestyle products. Her Isabella collection by Kathy Fielder and IC Linen Company by Kathy Fielder are sold globally and remain top sellers at the Horchow Collection and Neiman Marcus. Kathy Fielder for Atlantic Furniture is an elevated line designed to be beautiful and functional. Fielder Home premiered on air at the esteemed QVC Studios. Catering to client demand, Kathy created her retail boutique in Dallas under her own KF namesake. Her weekly blog, Design and Style by KF, shares her latest beauty, fashion, design, entertaining, and lifestyle inspirations. The Fielder Report features relevant and timely stories that enhance and inspire. Please welcome the Bill Barrett Philanthropic Award by Love for Kids recipient, Kathy Fielder.
All right, Kathy, as you look back on that,
There's so many pictures.
and you're still a young lady, so you got much more to accomplish. But you've accomplished more in your young life than many people would in 3 lifetimes.
Well, thank you. I'm not as young as one might think, first of all. And secondly, I always joke, and this is kind of deflecting from all of that, but can anyone really want to see that many pictures of someone? But it's really important. I will do this as a little marketing pitch for people to understand. They want to see you. So people want to know your story. They want to know your life. They want you to tell them about it and why your brand is special. And I had to really kind of embrace that a few years back, several years ago, and say, okay, do I really want to be this exposed? My family, all of these things. And so, but it's important, especially today, in today's marketplace, that you really do tell your story. Why your brand's special, what sets you apart, what makes you different, why are you engaged with your community, all of those things, right? But yeah, seeing all those pictures, I mean, there's so much history there. Like, it's extraordinary. And you think, oh my gosh, when did I sleep? And I actually do sleep, right? It's really important to me, but life gets busy. And it's exciting and it's fun.
Well, I like it that you eat your own cooking, because there's a lot. I see a lot of marketing companies, and then you go on their social media, and they're not updating their social media. I mean, you're really walking your talk, which I absolutely love.
Well, that's where Thrive was born from, because I remember texting Chandler, my marketing director, one morning, and she was actually out of town, and I go, hey, guess what? We have so much experience from retail placement, from selling to retailers, me being on air at QVC. We understand marketing. We understand all this stuff. We can help people create these lifestyle brands and then get them placement in the retail marketplace, which that's a skill that not many firms have. That's what sets us apart. Getting your product into the marketplace is key. And that's really where, over years of actually making tons of mistakes, more mistakes than I'd care to ever admit. But then, you pick yourself back up and you get smarter and you work harder.
Absolutely.
And smarter, right?
Yeah.
And then you keep moving forward and you just figure it out. And so that's where we kind of set ourselves apart.
And she may have the most robust Instagram feed I've ever seen. We're just going to kind
my
of
watch is ringing.
We're going to scroll down this.
Again, life is busy. I'm not gonna lie.
No, seriously. Like, as I look at this, I mean, you're doing such a great job telling stories through each one of these, and not just the videos, but the still pictures. Talk about your philosophy.
There's my horse. Yes. Well, I think you have to live a really well-rounded life.
Yes.
That's the key. And you want to try to be happy and engaged in your own life and live the moments. And it gets hard. Social media is a whole task on its own. I find it daunting sometimes. I'm sure everyone else finds it daunting. But I do try to really grasp the fact and appreciate and look around. Every morning, I'm not kidding. I wake up and I go, thank you, God. I really am grateful for this, that I get to live this extraordinary life. But we have to make that.
Yes.
Right? It's not given to us. We make this life. And it doesn't mean that you have to have amazing, wonderful Instagram feeds. It's living a life that you care about and that inspires you. It's true. I mean, it sounds so kitschy and like, okay, be inspired. But it's true. Like, you have to find what inspires you and makes you move forward and makes you want to do more.
Yes. Well, you inspire me, and I know you inspire a lot of people. I want to talk about your video blogs, your vlogs, because you put up all these wonderful tips. We're going to show one, and while you're watching this, I want you to talk about what inspires you to come up with these ideas. What do you? I mean, I love it that you're sharing the gold. You're not keeping the gold to yourself. You're giving people tips without them even hiring you. You're giving them wisdom.
Well, I think that when we all live a well-lived life, we all become better and we become better communities. And so, I happen to have cultivated through a lot of experience and a lot of just living life and searching for how I want to live my life, what's important to me. So understanding lifestyle is pretty easy for me. And I don't mean that in a kind of, I don't even know the right word. I just mean that I've cultivated the ability to live life well, purposefully. And that doesn't mean with a lot of money. What it means is with a lot of happiness and trying to find what inspires you. And so my goal with the vlog and all of these different tips and tricks and all these hacks is just to tell people, hey, here's how you can make your life better, more inspiring, more fun. We need, especially after the past few years we've had, it's time to just have fun and embrace and enjoy, and it doesn't need to be so heavy. Right?
Absolutely.
It needs to be enjoyable. And I'm not saying that there aren't heavy things and there aren't things that we have to deal with. I've been through a lot over the past couple of years, a whole lot, but I also know that there's hope on the other side, and giving some tips that might help other people find that hope is really important to me.
Well, I am fascinated by she is a Renaissance woman. She does it all. I want to show
Call my son that. He's a Renaissance man.
So let's put up her Amazon influencer page. Tell us about this. Is this a fairly new endeavor? Is this something you've been doing for a while?
Honestly, Amazon is just a great outlet Amazon invited me to be an influencer several years ago. I didn't really focus in on it that much. I just wanted to, I kind of was doing other things and really focused. I was traveling QVC, all these different things. But Amazon does give you the ability, it's kind of like the new Instagram. Honestly, right. You can make these beautiful boards. It's like Pinterest. And so you can really make inspirational things for people to find, from their dog food and their doggy treats all the way to swimsuits that they can wear to cotton. And so it's one of those things that it's an unlimited resource and a great inspiration tool. And that's really where it came from.
Yeah. And a shout out to eWomen, because I got an email recently, and that's how you and I connected, where you're going to be giving a speech on Thrive. So what are some tidbits? What are you going to tell people?
Well, we're really talking about how your social media footprint is your modern resume, because it is, right? Your contact list is your modern day Rolodex, and you have to learn how to network with that. You have to understand really how to put your brand into action and how to make it relatable to other people. You have to tell your story. That's the biggest thing today, your real story. People want to see you in real time, but you also have to know what your story is about, right?
Yes.
And you have to know how to tell that into your marketplace and where you put that. Instagram isn't for everybody. People get really hung up on Instagram. Yes, you can have a wonderful and dynamic Instagram feed, but what about Facebook? Like, if you have a great following on Facebook and you understand how to not sell to your followers, but also have a conversation with them about what you have that is so special. So it's really knowing. Or LinkedIn. Let's take LinkedIn, for example. It's more professional. And so what are you doing with your brand that you can infiltrate into the market? We have an imprint on all of these social media channels, but we also know that it's a different caption and a different relatability factor from Instagram to LinkedIn. Sure. And that's something really important to know.
Well, so I have this belief that the world has gotten so noisy that it's not just a matter of tooting your own horn. You got to get an orchestra going just to make enough noise to shatter the noise. Right. In the little time we have left, Kathy, look into the camera and tell the person who has not done any kind of marketing or branding why they need to start now.
Well, I would say, honestly, we've all done marketing and branding. We just don't recognize it. So that's really key. So I think it takes some reflection and looking at what you're doing and what you've been marketing so far and how you can elevate that. That's the big key. Learning what you are, who you've been, but more importantly, where you want to go, and to tell that story is key. It's super important because that's what everybody wants to hear. They want to know you and why what you've made is more special than the next person who's doing the same thing or something similar, right? And so that's really the key. Tell your story and why yours is more special. And it might not, you might not even think, mine isn't that much more special. But actually, if you really start to look at it, you had a vision for it, which makes it special, and you capitalize on that and you tell that story.
That's a mic drop moment. Let's end the show there. Let's end the show there with her website, which is kathyfielder.com. Kathy, thanks so much for coming on the show.
Oh my goodness. So thank you so much. It was wonderful.
You bet. That's it for now. We'll see you next time.